Hello, friends. This is Confessions with Amy. Here we share new confessions every day.
You're just not the right fit anymore. That was the sentence. That was the end. 10 years of sweat, sacrifice, late nights, cancelled vacations, and quiet loyalty, dismissed in 7 words by a man who never once stayed past 5:03 p.m. I didn't scream. I didn't cry. I didn't ask why. I just looked at Bennett Caldwell, my boss, my former mentor, the man who once toasted my birthday in the break room, and I realized I had never truly known him. He sat back in his stupid high-back leather chair, doing that thing where he tapped the pen against his teeth like he was solving something complex. He wasn't. He was just a coward with a title. "You're a good worker, Harper," he added, like that made it better. "But the company's evolving. We need people who fit the new culture." Translation: you're too experienced, too assertive, too hard to gaslight. My name is Harper Dane. I was 37 years old, director of strategy at Ellison & Bright, a mid-sized tech firm in Portland, Oregon. I built their operations roadmap from the ground up, scaled the team from 5 to 39, and held the place together through 2 acquisitions. I trained most of the senior staff myself. And now, apparently, I didn't fit. I could see it in his eyes. He thought I'd beg. Maybe plead for some kind of demotion, offer to take less money, shrink myself. That's what they expect from women like me, women who've given too much and stayed too long. They expect desperation. Instead, I stood up, walked to the door, then turned back. I gave him the smile I reserve for people I'll never think about again. On Monday, I said, "You're going to have a very interesting morning." He blinked, smirked, rolled his eyes. And I left. But what Bennett didn't know, what he could never understand, is that the company wasn't built on his spreadsheets and quarterly decks. It was built on trust. And I was the reason people believed in Ellison & Bright. They didn't work for the company. They worked for me. And they were coming with me. There's a moment after betrayal, after the sting, after the shock, when everything becomes unnervingly clear. By the time I walked out of that office, I wasn't broken. I wasn't even angry. I was focused. Like a lens snapping into place. I got into my car, still shaking a little, sure, and sat there with my hands on the steering wheel, staring out at the Ellison & Bright logo on the building side. The same logo I had helped redesign last year to look more future-forward. What a joke. They wanted the future, but not the woman who built the roadmap to get them there. I didn't go home. I drove straight to Alder and 12th, to a little cafe I used to use as a quiet planning space during merger season. Corner booth, near the window. Same waiter. He remembered me. The usual, "Miss Dane." "Double espresso," I said. "And today I'm going to need your Wi-Fi password." For war. I opened my laptop. Made a list of names. Not just anyone. Not the loud performers or the ones who liked meetings more than outcomes. No, I was after the builders. The believers. The ones who worked beside me during all-nighters. The ones who came to me when leadership didn't listen. The ones who still believed in doing it right. First on the list. Micah Trent, senior software engineer. Built our product security architecture from scratch. Loyal to a fault. Then. Rowan Lee, operations. Quiet, meticulous, probably smarter than me. We'd built the internal knowledge base together during the chaotic Q2 pivot. And Sasha Ellery, head of marketing strategy. My right hand. She once told me, "If you ever leave, I'm going with you." No questions. I stared at the list, then added 6 more names. All key. All capable of jumping ship and building something better. I didn't pitch them over LinkedIn or email. That's not how you start a revolution. I invited each one of them to dinner. One by one. Night after night. No big speeches. No lofty promises. Just the truth. I got pushed out. No warning. 10 years meant nothing. They listened. Some were shocked. Some weren't. Then I said what mattered. I'm building something. A real company. One that doesn't grind good people into dust. And if I do this, I'm not doing it without you. Micah just nodded. Rowan asked for timelines. Sasha said, "What took you so long?" By Friday, I had 11 people. 11 believers. People don't leave companies, they leave bad leaders. And they follow vision. They follow loyalty. And I had been loyal to them for years. Now, it was their turn. They didn't see us coming. That was the best part. Ellison and Bright was too busy polishing their new culture to notice that the foundation was already cracking. We were careful, surgical. Quiet meetings, secure channels, no digital footprints. We used Signal. Burner phones. Burner emails. We weren't building a startup, we were staging a jailbreak. By the time Friday rolled around, I had a team. 11 people, each one a piece of the original machine. Each one underappreciated. Underestimated. Just like me. We didn't move fast. We moved smart. Micah already had code frameworks ready, things he'd tinkered with on nights and weekends, never shared at work because, as he put it, they wouldn't know what to do with it. Rowan handled logistics. Found us a temporary office in the Pearl District. Small, old brick building, but it had character, and no legacy ghosts in the walls. Sasha built the brand in 3 days. Name, voice, messaging, domain. The works. We called it Lucent and North. Because clarity and direction were exactly what people were starving for. Saturday night, we toasted with cheap wine on folding chairs in that half-empty office. No furniture, no income, no investors. Just guts. Just us. And then Sunday came. The quiet before the break. I couldn't sleep. Not from nerves, from clarity. I laid in bed watching the numbers on the clock change, 3:01 a.m. 3:47. 4:12. By dawn, I was already dressed. Coffee. Silence. Purpose. Because Monday wasn't just another workday. It was reckoning day. We hadn't told Ellison and Bright anything. No leaks. No threats. No warnings. But every resignation letter had been printed in advance. Every calendar invite cancelled. Every Slack account, email, and database login terminated by noon. I knew how the building breathed. I knew what time people arrived, what meetings were stacked, which projects were dangling by threads. I knew exactly where to pull. And I had no intention of gloating. That wasn't the point. I just wanted them to feel the silence. Because there's a very specific kind of dread that sinks in when the people you never appreciated aren't there anymore. They say a company is like a machine. Replace the parts, and it keeps going. That's a lie. A machine isn't held together by code or strategy decks. It's held together by the people who care when no one's watching. People like Micah, like Sasha, like me. And on Monday morning, Ellison and Bright tried to run the machine. Without us. 8:03 a.m., I got the first message. Sasha forwarded me a screenshot from their company Slack. It was chaos. No announcements. Just a storm of confusion. Has anyone seen the product roadmap for Q3? Micah's not answering. He was supposed to push today's release. Rowan's calendar is gone, what's happening? Is Harper, wait, did Harper leave too? By 9:17 a.m., Bennett Caldwell had figured it out. Not all of it, but enough. He tried to call me 4 times. I didn't pick up. Instead, I texted back one word. Delivered. The same word our team used to mark a finished job. I don't know what expression was on his face when HR dropped 11 resignation letters on his desk. Each one worded with brutal professionalism. No rage. No emotion. Just facts. Effective immediately. Thank you for the opportunity. I've accepted a new position elsewhere. I do know that his assistant, Sweet Donna, who always slipped me extra cookies at holiday parties, told someone in confidence. He looked like someone had cut the power and locked all the doors. Which is fitting. Because without us, that's exactly what Ellison and Bright had become. A dead building full of doors that no longer opened. I wasn't watching out of spite. I was watching to learn. That morning, 3 client accounts pulled out. Not because we stole them, but because the people managing them were gone. Trust doesn't transfer just because a name stays on the contract. Internal timelines imploded. Projects froze mid-sprint. They brought in consultants, too late. And all the while, Lucent and North was coming alive. We weren't flashy. We weren't loud. But we were moving. 12 people with something to prove. I should have felt vindicated. But what I actually felt was freedom. No more politics. No more smiling through being undermined. No more building someone else's legacy while mine was erased in boardroom silence. Bennett had once told me, in that same office. People are replaceable, Harper. Even good ones. He was wrong. Some people are irreplaceable. And when they go, everything goes with them. The first check cleared on a Thursday. A quiet, unremarkable deposit, $22,000, from a mid-sized analytics firm in Denver. They'd heard Sasha speak at a panel 2 years ago. She mentioned I was exploring new opportunities on a Zoom call the week before. 2 days later, they called us. We hadn't even finished painting the walls in the new office. But it wasn't about the money. It was about proof. Proof that we weren't crazy. That we weren't reckless. That walking away from comfort, even poisoned comfort, was the only sane thing to do. And then came the second client. Then the third. By the end of month 1, we had 4 contracts. And for the first time in years, I was sleeping through the night. People kept asking, "What do you do at Lucent and North?" My answer was always the same. We do what other companies pretend to do, but we mean it. We weren't revolutionizing tech. We weren't promising to change the world. We were just doing things right. Strategically. Ethically. Human first. No power games. No credit stealing. No faceless leadership decks written by men who hadn't built a damn thing since college. Our team. We were small, but every person mattered. Micah led a team of 2 and shipped faster than the entire dev department at Ellison ever had. Rowan redesigned our internal processes so cleanly we went from proposal to launch in 5 business days. Sasha turned our first campaign into an organic reach explosion. Clients found us. We didn't have to knock. We shared revenue. We shared credit. And we shared late-night Thai food on the floor when we missed furniture deliveries because we were too deep in flow. It wasn't just success. It was healing. I got a message from Donna one night, Bennett's assistant. She'd heard what we were building. Said she was quietly cheering us on. Then she added, "It's weird over here now. Empty. Like the soul of the place walked out the door." I didn't reply. Not because I didn't care, but because I'd already mourned that place. Ellison and Bright was never mine. It was a stage. A training ground. A prologue. Lucent and North. This was mine. Ours. And for the first time in my life, I wasn't waiting for someone to approve my decisions, greenlight my vision, or tell me I was enough. I had built the thing I was once begging to be seen by. I saw him again by accident. It was 6 months later. Spring had started to show up in Portland, cherry blossoms along the river walk, that cool, clean scent after rain. I was grabbing coffee at a spot on 10th, just off Burnside, when I heard someone say my name. Harper. I turned. And there he was. Bennett Caldwell. Thinner. Hair a little grayer. Wearing a suit that looked a touch too expensive for someone trying to prove they were still in control. He smiled, that familiar tight-lipped, performative smile I used to fall for. I heard you started something. I nodded. I did. How's it going? He asked, but it was the kind of question people ask when they expect you to say, struggling. I just tilted my head. We're good. Grew faster than expected. Picked up 5 clients in Q2. His face flickered. Just for a second. A crack in the mask. Then he said, you always had potential. I'm glad you found something that fits you better. And there it was again, that voice, that subtle condescension wrapped in civility. The same tone he used the day he fired me. The difference now. It didn't land. It didn't touch me. It passed right through. Because somewhere in those 6 months of building from scratch, of choosing people who chose me back, of proving myself to no one but me, I had stopped needing his approval. Or anyone's. So I just smiled. A real smile this time. Calm. Steady. Well, I said, you were right about one thing. He raised an eyebrow. I didn't fit that job. But not because I wasn't good enough. I stepped forward, leaned in just slightly. It was too small for me. He didn't respond. Just watched me leave. Later that night, I told the team about the encounter. They asked if I'd gloat, if I'd post something. Do a little CEO glow up on LinkedIn. I laughed. Why would I look back when everything worth building is right here? Sasha handed me a mock-up for our new office signage. Sleek, minimal, bold. Lucent and North was no longer just surviving. We were expanding. People love revenge stories. But this wasn't revenge. This was redirection. This was reclamation. This was freedom. I didn't burn the old world down. I just built a better one. And they watched everyone walk toward the light.